Shalom Israel, Shalom, Shalom. Brother Nakwam, Brother Nakwam, watching for Israel, coming back at you with these precepts and another cold cut, giving, of course, all honor and glory to Yahweh by Shema Mashiach, Omalak Yahushai. Double honors to the elect elders of the house of David that's been in the truth for decades and decades, patiently waiting for the second coming of Yahushai. Double Slakia, a hearty shalom, Slakia, hearty shalom. So you mighty men that go out there and labor and do the work of the Most High, enduring all things, presenting your body as a living sacrifice, and going out there feeding the flock, right? Shalom to the men that may not be out there in the highways and byways, but they're working on it. You're getting built up in the spirit, they're praying, fasting, studying, and abiding in the will of the Lord in the last days. And last but not least, shalom to the Akwat out there, the sincere sisters out there, holding it down in the households, reverencing their husbands, and even if they're not married, keeping the commandments, guiding up the household, and taking care of the children. Shalom to everybody in the live stream comment board of Barakatha Most Highest, Isaac Slaki Ban Yasha Allah, Brother Zay for Israel, Isaac by Nature, by No World, Diane Artis, Jonathan Oler, Anthony Nottage, Most High Servant in Spirit and Truth, Princess of Israel, the sister Uzelia Jacob, Shalom, Obadiah Ban Israel, and Kamar Whitten, right? We back at it, live stream. Who are the 140, and I believe I titled this, who are the 144,000 and prophecy update. All right, so I want to touch on who are the 144,000. Just something that, brothers was talking about at the Unity camp. We had the beautiful Unity camp out there in DC with Sakari, the House of David, the Light of Zion, the Sons of Thunder, brothers, I believe a brother from HOI, from the HOI Vegas or LA camp, they came out. A lot of brothers, Martyrs and Yahweh Shah, that came out. And certain brothers who was talking about the 144,000, speaking about biblical chronology and what would happen with these men. And I just want to touch on who these 144,000 are. Certain brothers believe that these men are going to get delivered up at a certain period of time or caught up in the chariots. So we, before the Lord delivers all of Israel. So I just want to clear up some prophecies, go through some current events, and let's get into it. I want to kick it off with the book of Revelation, the 7th chapter. All right, let's go to Revelation chapter 7. This is the first time when you read about the 144,000 in depth as a whole. All right. So a lot of people are trying to figure out, do you have the 1/3? Do you have the 144,000? Are these two separate nations or groups of men or people? Or can some of the 144,000 be women? Are the 1/3 separate from the 144? So let's find out. All right, Revelation chapter 7 and 1. And it reads, after these things I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding back, it's like you're holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. Now these 4 angels holding back the 4 winds of the, or standing on the 4 corners of the earth, that does not mean the literal 4 corners of the earth. It's speaking about you have a multitude of angels that are holding back the destruction that is coming to the earth. There are angels that are set up to unleash the destruction on the planet Earth, whether that's massive famine, whether that's nuclear destruction, right? Whether that's the Lord coming back. Massive amount of destruction is being restrained by angels, right? Remember, the Lord has angels that are even set up in chains to come out at a certain time to stir up the minds of people and manipulate the elements to get these nations for World War III. Right, so the angels serve a pivotal purpose for the Most High, man. Right, they're the behind the scenes guys in this movie, man. Right, let me go to Revelation chapter 9 real quick, right, to show you about how these angels get down. Right, this Revelation chapter 9 and verse 14. Right, Revelation chapter 9 and 14, and it reads, saying to the 6th angel which had the trumpet, loose the 4 angels which are bound in the great river Euphrates. So if you go to the great river Euphrates right now, you get these scientists, they can't see these angels down there are bound up. These marine biologists, these men that drop these submarines and they want to touch down to the depths of the ocean and they're looking around for all of these new creatures and new life and treasure and gold. They can't see these angels, man. But you better believe that there are 4 or a multitude of angels, I'll put it like that, right? Where it says 4 angels, a multitude of angels in the river Euphrates, man. All right. It says, which are bound in the great river Euphrates. Now, they didn't sin. They didn't say these angels went off and the Most High cast them down to the river Euphrates. No, he bound them up there because he wanted to, man. Because that's their purpose. That's their lot. Verse 15. And the 4 angels were loosed, which were prepared for an hour, and a day, and a month, and a year for to slay the third part of men. So you have a multitude of angels that are bound in the river Euphrates that are going to be released to slay the third part of men, right? Meaning complete destruction on the wicked, right? Now, Revelation 7 is speaking about another group of angels who are holding back that destruction. So these 4 angels, they're going to give the decree to these other angels, and those other angels are going to unleash the destruction to kill the third part of men on the earth. Part of those four winds is speaking about the destruction coming from these 4 angels, right? Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 51. Let's get another precept on that. Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 51 and 1. All right. This is Jeremiah chapter 51 and 1. And it reads, thus saith the Lord, behold, I will raise up against Babylon, which is America, if you did not know, right? And against them that dwell in the midst of them that rise up against me, a destroying wind, right? I will send unto Babylon fanners that shall fan her and shall empty her land, for in the day of trouble they shall be against her round about. So what is this destroying wind? There's a nuclear wind. If you have ever seen nuclear bombs being dropped, or they may even show, I might pull it up. Let me see if I can find this for you. When you see these nuclear bombs being dropped, man, they always have this nuclear wind aftermath that sweeps through. They show you that in the if you watch old clips of the destruction when the United States Army dropped, I believe it was Fat Boy or Fat Man and Little Boy, Fat Boy and Little Man, which are the names of 2 atomic bombs on 2 Japanese cities, Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And I want to see that. Let me see if I can find that. Right, I'm gonna say atomic bomb. And I want to see if they got that footage, because sometimes you can see that that destroying wind. All right, bear with me 1 second. Sometimes you can actually see that, man. You'll see that destruction and that residue in that wind. I'm gonna pull this up on the screen so you can see what's going on. Bear with me 1 second. And that's what Yahushua is talking about, or the Most High through his son Yahushua. All right, that destroying wind. Bear with me 1 second. Pull this up on the screen. Now, I haven't watched these before. I'm watching as you watch it. All right, but let's see if this is what we want to get into. Are you still powdering your bones? See that? Esau, Esau always got some folly going on, man. Right? Salakia. All right, I'm trying to pull this up so brothers can see what's going on. Profane. Bear with me. All right, check this out.
That's the atomic bomb exploding at Nagasaki. That's the atomic bomb exploding at Nagasaki.
That's that destroying wind.
Was taken in a B-29 many miles away. All of you who see this picture can judge for yourselves the extent of the menace to civilization of this new weapon. Civilized people can only demand that such power be directed not towards their obliteration, but to the benefit of mankind. This is the Emperor of Japan having a look at the ruins of his capital before the decision to surrender was made. Devastation confronted him wherever he went. Tokyo was flat. These pictures are...
See that? That's that destroying wind right there, man. All right, that nuclear war wind, that nuclear fire, that's the destroying wind that the Lord is going to raise upon Babylon. Completely obliterated the children of Ammon, man. That's why in Revelation chapter 13, it says he caused fire to come down from heaven in the sight of men. So let's go back to Revelation chapter 7, right? Breaking that down. Revelation chapter 7, because it's going to speak about the 144,000. Right? Revelation chapter 7, and I'll read one more time. And after these things, I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth. And we talked about those winds, that destroying wind, even the 4 angels that are bound in a great river Euphrates. Those angels are going to be loosed, right, at a certain time. Slakia, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living God. And he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea. Now, this angel that came from the east, we understand that the east is speaking about Jerusalem. Now, this angel didn't come from the physical land, but remember, like we always go into, what did Jacob say? What's another title that the Lord put in the spirit of Jacob, our forefather, to call that land? Didn't Jacob say, or Israel say, how dreadful is this place? This is none other than the house of the Most High, and this is the gate of heaven. Right? Let me go to that real quick. That's why he came from the east, man. All right, let's go to that. Let's prove why he came from the east for those who do not know. All right, let's go to the book of Genesis, chapter. Let's go to Genesis. I believe I'm gonna get straight to the point. Chapter 28. All right, bear with me. Slakia. Let me find this account real quick. About Jacob actually calling this place, man. Right? Genesis 28 and 10. Right? This is the book of Genesis, chapter 28 and verse 10. And it reads, and Jacob went out from Beersheba and went toward Haran. And we're reading this to find out why in Revelation 7 it said this angel came from the east having a seal of the living God. Right? Because everything matters. It matters why he came from the east. Right? It matters why he came from this particular area, man. Because something is important that is there on a spiritual level. Right? And that's what John saw. He said, hey, look, this angel came from the east. And we're reading that in Genesis chapter 28 and 10. And Jacob went out from Beersheba and went toward Haran. And he lighted upon a certain place and tarried there all night because the sun was set. And he took the stones of that place and put them for his pillows and laid down in that place to sleep. So Jacob, Israel, he was a hard man, right? He took stones and laid them down for pillows. Verse 12. And he dreamed, and behold, a ladder set up on the earth, and the top of it reached to heaven. And behold, the angels of the Most High ascending and descending on it. Now, where is this taking place? In the land of Israel. This is what they call Jacob's ladder. Was that an actual ladder? No. It's speaking about a portal, a door, a connection between the third heaven and the earth. That the angels go up from the earth to the heaven, whether they report the wicked deeds of man, whether they're bringing prayers up to the Most High, right? Whether they present themselves before the Lord, they go up out in the portal is above the land of Israel, for lack of better terms. It's not talking about an actual ladder. Angels don't need a ladder. They're spirits. They don't have to walk up and down the ladder and somebody got to hold the ladder, make sure it don't fall. They don't take damn OSHA classes, man. And have to have the proper protective equipment to be able to get and down this ladder, man. But a lot of these Christians, they believe it's an actual ladder. Remember, when Moses wrote this, that's like when the Lord spoke about fruit and a serpent. You know, is that an actual serpent, an actual fruit? No, it's parabolic. Hosea chapter 12 and 10 says that he has multiplied visions by the prophets and used similitudes. So this is a similitude. All right. So he saw a ladder set upon the earth, and the top of it reached to heaven. And behold, the angels of the Most High ascending and descending on it. And behold, the Most High stood above it and said, I am the Lord God of Abraham thy father, and the God of Jacob, and the God of Isaac. The land whereon thou liest, to thee will I give it, and to thy seed. right? And thy seed shall be as the dust of the earth, and thou shalt spread abroad to the west, and to the east, and to the north, and to the south, and in thee and in thy seed shall all the families of the earth be blessed, right? And behold, I am with thee, and will keep thee in all places whither thou goest, and will bring thee again into this land, for I will not leave thee until I have done that which I have spoken to thee of. Here go the point, verse 16. And Jacob awake out of his sleep, and he said, surely Yahweh is in this place, and I knew it not. He said, I didn't know that this, hey, I didn't know where I was at, man. A lot of our people think that that land of Israel is just a regular land, man. Right? That the Lord is there, man. There's actual spirits in that land, man. All right. Like you always say, why do you think in 2 Kings, the 23rd chapter, where the Lord took the heathen and put them in that land, wild lions came and was killing them, man? Because the laws of the Lord weren't being performed in that land. So there's a heavy spiritual amount of activity in the land of Israel, man. That's why the Lord plaguing all of them so-called Jews out there with cancer, AIDS, sicknesses, because they don't belong in that land. All right. Now it says, let me read that again. Genesis chapter 28 and 16. And Jacob awaked out of his sleep, right? And he said, surely the Lord is in this place, and I knew it not. And he was afraid and said, how dreadful is this place? This is none other but the house of the Most High, and this is the gate of heaven. So he called the land of Israel the gate of heaven, right? That word gate, let's look at that word gate in the Hebrew. All right. That word gate. He said, this is the gates of heaven. The gates are the entrances. You can enter through a gate, or you can do what? You can exit through a gate, right? That's why they had this ladder, because this so-called, I use the word portal for lack of better terms, because that's what it was. Moses couldn't say that word, just like John, he couldn't say nuclear missile. You know, we have to break these things down, because our forefathers, when they wrote it, in an age that they were living in, they can only use the words that they were familiar with to describe futuristic and spiritual things, man. You know? So I want to pull that word up, gate, in the book of Genesis, right? I want to show you that real quick. All right, we're going to pull up this word gate in the Hebrew. All right, bear with me. Let me zoom out a little bit. All right, bear with me in Genesis chapter 28. Right? So Genesis chapter 28 and 17. And he was afraid and said, how dreadful is this place? This is none other but the house of the Most High, and this is the gate of heaven. All right, so Genesis 28 and 17, this word gate. Like I said, a gate is an entrance or an exit. Now this is sha'ar, right? Which is what in the Hebrew? It says a gate. So I can bear with me. All right, a gate of entrance. So this is the entrance of heaven, right? Out in the land of Israel, that's where the angels enter into the third heaven. All right, gate of space, inside gate, marketplace, public meeting place, city or town, gate, heaven, right? Check this out. It says sha'ar in its original sense, an opening, a door, a gate, a city, a door, a gate, a port, a port. That's what you get the word portal from. The word portal means a door. This word gate in the Hebrew is a door. All right. That's why we break it down, and we break it down as a portal, because that's what it is, man. All right. Let's pull that up in the online etymology dictionary. That's why that angel came from the east, because that's the headquarters and the top entrance and exiting place for the angels, even demons, man. They all come from the east. Every one of these spirits come from the east. That's why even in 2nd Esdras, chapter 1 and 38 on down, you read about the Most High saying, behold, and see what people coming from the east, to whom I will give for leaders, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, etc. All right. So this word, the word portal, It means gate or gateway. So Jacob said, this is the portal of heaven, man. Let me read that again. Genesis chapter 28 and verse 16. Right? And Jacob awaked out of his sleep and said, surely Yahweh is in this place, and I knew it not. And he was afraid and said, how dreadful is this place? This is none other but the house of God, and this is the gate of heaven. And that's what that this means. Like in the Hebrew, it says a port, right? A port or a gate. And this word portal goes back to gate or gateway. All right. To lead or to pass over. So Jacob saw a portal out there. Now, if you look up a portal now, let's see what we can get, man. All right, let's see if we can get images on the portal. All right, see that? So Jacob pretty much saw something like this. You know, these are portals right here. All right, Jacob pretty much saw a huge portal in the sky with the angels, and that's why he was fearful. Why would you be fearful if you just saw a ladder, you know, with angels going up and down on it? He saw something like this, man. You know, but it was in the sky. He saw this in the sky, and they were ascending and descending upon it. Let's see if I can look up a portal in the sky. All right, see if we can get a little more specific. All right, this is a little better right here. Right, this is a little better right here. This is the gate of heaven. This is somewhat a little more realistic of what Jacob saw. All right, see, these are portals up there in the sky. These are the gates. But there's the massive one is the land of Israel. You know, so Jacob saw something like this, man, up there in the sky. So let's go back to this. Let's put this back up. All right. So going back to Revelation chapter 7, I want to touch on that, right? Just to explain, a lot of brothers overlook that and don't understand why and how it's important to break down how these things occurred in prophecy. All right. Revelation chapter 7 and verse 3. Right. This is what the angel said. This angel has the order over these other angels, and he's given them a decree, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our God in their foreheads. What does it mean, seal them in their forehead? We all have to be sealed in our forehead. Is that speaking about your actual bone, your frontal lobe system of your brain, right, in your skull? And no. What does it mean we have to be sealed in our forehead, meaning sealed in our mind? Our mind has to receive information, and it has to be sealed that it may not escape, and that it's set with you to the day the Lord come back. Let's go to Ephesians 1 and 13. What are these men going to be sealed with? Right? Well, you have to go precept upon precept. It's imperative. Right? This Ephesians chapter 1 and 13. And it reads, in whom ye also trusted, after that ye heard the word of truth, the gospel of your salvation, and whom also, after that ye believed, ye were sealed. Ye were sealed with the Holy Spirit of promise. Right? You see that? So our forefathers were sealed with the Holy Spirit of promise. All right? Meaning, once you hear this truth and you believe in it, the angels still come down and spiritually mark you and say, look, that man, he's set up for salvation already. Now, do we know if we're part of the elect or not? No. We're just hoping that the Lord have mercy on us, and we're doing our due diligence to make our calling and election sure. We're going to find out how many men are sealed, right? In Revelation the 7th chapter, how many men are sealed with the Holy Spirit of promise, who have the promises in store for them, who believe in his truth. All right. Verse 4. And I heard the number of them which were sealed, and they were sealed in 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel. So you're not going to have no Edomites part of the 144,000. Ain't going to be no Moabites part of the 144,000. Ain't no Hamites, no Japhites. The only 144,000 are going to be the Israelites. Right? Of the tribe of Judah were sealed 12,000. Now, why is 12? Because 12 is a spiritual number. You have 12 tribes of Israel. You have 12 gates. You have 12 manner of fruits that proceed from the throne of the Lord, the tree of life. And you have these 12,000 from each tribe. Of the tribe of Judah, which are you so-called American blacks and so-called Negroes, you will have 12,000 men that are sealed with the Holy Spirit of promise, right? And the Lord is sealing Judah first. Those are the first men that are going to be sealed. How do you know that? The classic. Let's go to Zechariah chapter 12 and 7. Right? Let's get the classic on that. This is the book of Zechariah chapter 12 and 7. And it reads, the Lord also shall save the tents of Judah first, that the glory of the house of David and the glory of the inhabitants of Jerusalem do not magnify themselves against Judah. So the Lord is saving Judah first, because out of Judah came forth who? King David. Out of David came forth who? Hamashiach wa Malak Yahushua. That's why the majority of brothers you may see out there, a lot of them you'll hear them say they're from the tribe of Judah, because the Lord has raised up the children of Judah first. So there's 12,000 men that have to be sealed from Judah, and this has to happen in order for the destruction to be unleashed. The massive amount of destruction will not be unleashed until the 144,000 are sealed. That's plain as day. So a lot of brothers, you're trying to figure out, well, how are we still in captivity? Why is the Most High still punishing us? Right? Why am I still in America? Well, brother, because you're not out there laboring, doing the work, and going out there teaching the people that they can get sealed, man. We're waiting on you. And this captivity, this is the only captivity among our people where we have been totally disconnected from our nationality, our heritage, the name of our God, his son. So we have a great amount of labor to put forth, because we have to teach our people that they're Israel in this captivity. You have to show them the law, show them the name of the Most High, and that requires a lot of work. And they have to believe, and they have to be part of the elect, set up from the foundation of the world. So you have to go out there and hand out these gospels, or this gospel, and teach the people. So the Lord is waiting on us. We have to go out there and seal the elect. 12,000 from Judah, right? Up the tribe of Reuben, we're sealed 12,000, right? Up the tribe of Gad, we're sealed 12,000. So we're gonna have 12,000 Seminole Indians coming into this thing. 12,000 Native Americans, so-called, coming into this truth. All right. Of the tribe of Asher, we're sealed 12,000. All right. Those are your so-called Argentina to Chile, right? A lot of you South American tribes, so-called. You're going to come into this thing too, and you're going to be mighty in it. All right. Of the tribe of Nephthalim, we're sealed 12,000. Right. Of the tribe of Manasseh, we're sealed 12,000. Right now, Manasseh, you so-called Cubans, right? A lot of so-called Cubans coming into this truth. Of the tribe of Simeon, we're sealed 12,000, so-called Dominicans. Of the tribe of Levi, we're sealed 12,000. Right? Now, as I read on, you may say, well, where's the tribe of Dan? I don't see Dan in there. I see Manasseh. You know, I don't see Dan. I see Joseph, but no Dan. Why is Dan not in there? And we're going to tell you why Dan is not in there. Because the Lord didn't choose Dan for him to be in there, man. That's why. All right. Because Dan still, although Dan is not mentioned in the 144,000, like we always going to, Dan has a gate in the kingdom of heaven. When you read the book of Ezekiel, chapter 48 and 30 on down, you even read about Dan having a gate. And Joseph has a gate in the kingdom of heaven. Now, Joseph, his sons, Ephraim and Manasseh, are going to go through the gate of Joseph. And Dan is going to have his own gate. Who is Dan? Dan is scattered amongst mainly the northern kingdom, part of the 10 tribes that came to this side of the world. All right. Now, can we point out and brother say, brother, you may be from the tribe of Dan? You can say that, but that you never know. It's going to be found out in that day. That's one of the great mysteries in the scriptures, when the Most High is going to reveal who actually, by individual, is going to go through the gate of Dan. All right. So let's read on. Revelation chapter 7:7. Of the tribe of Simeon were still 12,000. And Dan isn't mentioned in Revelation chapter 7. But for brothers that to get deep into this thing, when you read Genesis chapter 49, it gives the blessing of each tribe, right? When you get to Deuteronomy, the 33rd chapter, it also gives you the blessing of each tribe. Slucky. But in Deuteronomy chapter 33, Simeon is not mentioned in there amongst the different tribes that are getting blessings, right? So why isn't Simeon mentioned in Deuteronomy 33? And for those that read, when you read First Chronicles, the 4th chapter, I believe to the 9th chapter, it gives you a detailed genealogy of the sons of Jacob and their descendants by name. But you'll find out that all of the tribes are mentioned in there except who? Except Zebulun and Dan again. Now, why isn't Zebulun mentioned amongst the sons of Jacob? Right? Because this is the Lord's doing, man. All right. So we're going back to this Revelation chapter 7:7. And it reads, of the tribe of Simeon were still 12,000. Of the tribe of Levi, right, were still 12,000. Right, bear with me. Salakia. Of the tribe of Issachar, you so-called Mexicans, were still 12,000. Of the tribe of Zebulun, were still 12,000. Of the tribe of Joseph, were still 12,000. Now, Joseph is really Ephraim when it says that. Right? Let me prove that real quick. You may say, well, I don't see Ephraim either. Right? Well, Ephraim is Joseph. All right. Let's go to Numbers. Numbers, chapter 1 and 32. To prove that real quick, that Ephraim is Joseph. All right. This is the book of Numbers, chapter 1 and 32. Of the children of Joseph, namely of the children of Ephraim, by their generations, after their families, by the house of their fathers, according to the number of the names, from 20 years old and upward, all that were able to go forth to war. So it says of the children of Joseph, namely of the children of Ephraim. Because remember, Ephraim is the one, although he was the youngest boy out of these men between Ephraim and Manasseh, the Lord still put the blessing on Ephraim. And Ephraim and Manasseh were adopted as the sons of Jacob. All right. Now, these 144,000, let's read on, right? Because we'll get to it. So we read about the 144,000. Who are they? They are 12,000 men. Yes, they are men, right? Women are going to be part of the elect, part of the 1/3, but the 144,000 are going to be the rulers of the 1/3 and the entire earth, right? So a lot of people have the misconception that the 1/3 and 144,000 are two different separate bodies, right? Like you may have, the Lord says 144,000, you come to this side. At 1/3, you come to this side. No, if the Lord calls the 1/3, the 144,000, they're mingled amongst that 1/3, but those men are going to be chosen out of the 1/3, and they're going to be exalted as leaders, kings, judges, princes, nobles, right? Let's prove that. Let's go to the book of Isaiah chapter 1 and 26, right? So we have to clear that confusion up. All right, Isaiah chapter 1 and 20. I'll start at 25. All right, this Isaiah chapter 1 and 25. And it reads, and I would turn my hand upon thee and purely purge away thy dross and take away all thy tin, which is symbolic for our sins, infirmities, and our wickedness. Right? Verse 26. And I will restore thy judges as at the first. So the 144,000 are going to be the judges. And thy counselors as at the beginning. You're going to have counselors. You know? Afterward, thou shalt be called the city of righteousness, the faithful city. Zion shall be redeemed with judgment. Right? So the Most High is going to restore our officers, our judges, our leaders. These are the men that are going to be part of the 144,000. Let's go to Obadiah, verse 21. Right? Let's go to Obadiah. And I want to get the last verse in that entire chapter. All right. Just the book of Obadiah, verse 21. All right. Obadiah, verse 21. And it reads, and saviors, this is the 144,000. This is why I'm bringing it out. Because these titles like judges, saviors, these are men that are going to be part of the 144,000. Right? And saviors shall come up on Mount Zion to judge the mount of Esau, and the kingdom shall be the Lord's, man. Right? So who are these saviors? It's like all throughout biblical history and us as a nation of people, right? Which is speaking about us. You read about men that are being set up as judges to deliver Israel, right? Read the book of Judges. You had men like Gideon, right? You had men like Ehud, man. You had men like Barak, all right? You had Othniel, right? You had Othniel, you had these mighty men that would be raised up as judges, to deliver Israel. The Lord is doing that now, right? There may be men watching this who are actually part of these judges and these saviors in the last days. All right. It says Obadiah 1:21, and saviors shall come up on Mount Zion to judge the mount of Esau, and the kingdom shall be the Lord's, man. So these are the deliverers. These are the future rulers of the earth, right? Don't you know there's going to be a government set up in the kingdom of heaven, right? Don't you know Yahweh Shah is going to see? That's 144,000 people. 144 people watching, man. See that's all spiritual. All right, it's 144 people on the live stream, and we speaking about the 144,000. All right, so let's go to the book of I had another precept in my mind. I just had it. Let's go to the book of what was I want to go to? Salakia. Got caught up on 144, man. And don't be saying you're part of the 144,000. You don't know that, right? You'll find out when the Lord putting crowns on your head, man. Right? You may have a gold and plated 1 or gold and plated 3 showing what number you are part of the 144,000. All right. So the 144,000 are the future rulers and governors of the earth. I wanted Isaiah chapter 9. That's what I wanted. All right. See that? Let's go to Isaiah chapter 9. And we'll read about this real quick. All right. Isaiah the 9th chapter and verse 6. All right. Isaiah chapter 9 and 6. And it reads, and let me say this. I've heard testimonies of brothers in the truth that they always see that number 144. I've seen that myself, man. Random. You can be driving somewhere, you see 144. You walking around, you look at somebody's license plate 144. Somebody might say, look, I need 144. It's like that. The Most High got that spirit out here, man, where brothers are always seeing that number, right? Because the Most High sealing those men, right? And I've heard that plenty of times, man. All right. Why do I keep seeing the number 144? Am I tripping? Right? No, brother, you're not tripping, brother. That's the spirit the Lord got out here in the last days, man. Right? You got to deal with it. All right. Isaiah chapter 9 and 6. And it reads, for unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given. Who's this? Yahweh Shah. Right? And the government shall be upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. Of the increase of his government and peace there shall be no end, upon the throne of David and upon his kingdom, to order it. And how's the Lord going to establish a government? You need a group of men. Not that the Lord needs these men, but that's what he wants for his government. Where do you think the so-called white man got his concept of government from? Huh? Let's pull up this definition of government, right? And a government is going to be, you're not going to have a Congress. No damn Congress going to be in the kingdom of heaven, man. Right? You're going to be in the kingdom and the Lord stand up in his mighty, mighty magnificence. Right? I like that, his mighty magnificence. And he called, and the Lord say, Senate, time to speak. And everybody watching from their home on C-SPAN. You watching C-SPAN, and everybody in there kind of quiet, discussing, the amendments. It ain't gonna be like that, man. It's not a little government going. This is not a true government. This is a pseudo government backed up and rooted on wickedness, lies, witchcraft, deception, and deceit. All right. Let's pull up the definition of government. All right. So I'm gonna pull this up on the screen. All right, bear with me. So here's the definition of government. It says government, the governing body of a nation, which is going to be the nation of Israel, ultimately the entire earth, state, or community. I'll check these out. I'm gonna zoom in, see if I can zoom in and make these larger so you can see the synonyms, right? Some synonyms for government: administration, executive, regime, authority, power. We're going to be the powers that be, right? When the heathen are talking, here come the powers that be, right? There's 144,000 that are going to be policing the earth. Directorate, council, leadership, management, cabinet, ministry, rule, term of office, right? Incumbency, the relation between a governed and a governing word. So check that out. We're going to be the authority, leadership, management, right? Now check this out. This is the definition of management. Now this is part of the government, the process of dealing with or controlling things or people. So the 144,000, they're part of this government. They're going to be controlling things and people. A lot of brothers, they talk about the 144,000. They say, man, they going to have all of the women. Man, they're going to have 10,000. Hey, it's more than just having women, man. You're going to have to be the 144,000. They're going to be regulating things and people. And I always talk about this with the brothers in the camp, man. Right, let's go to Luke chapter 19. Right, you're going to be building cities. You're going to have to set up the ghettos, the projects for the heathen. You're going to have to bring in water, build an aqueduct. You're going to have to build these different cisterns for the heathen. You have to have men set up to teach these nations the feast days, the commandments. You got a heavy responsibility, man. And you're going to report back to the 12 apostles. And they're going to give you orders. They may say, look, I need you, brother, to go to the land of Ham and take 4,000 chariots with you. You could pick them out. And you take 20,000 men. And you go to the land of Ham on a 2-year campaign. And I want you to teach the land of Ham every high holy day. Right? So you're going to have to do that, man. Who's going to be getting those orders to 144,000? So they're going to go there. They're going to have to build themselves up, a mansion, or had a slave build them up a mansion to stay in. They're going to be up drawing blueprints on how to build the land, the Ham, and where the people are going to dwell at, where the marketplace is going to be at. You think the kingdom of heaven is just going to pop up out the sky? No, things have to be managed, have to be controlled, man. How much cattle, how much sheep, So let me see that again. Management. This part of the government of Yahushua, the process of dealing with or controlling things or people, man. That's what it's going to be about. Let's go to Luke chapter 19. Right? Like I always say, a lot of brothers, they want to be lords over 10 cities. They can't even be a lord over their own household, man. Let's go to Luke chapter 19. Somebody want to be a lord over 10 cities, and your woman beating you up at home, man. You can't go out and teach. Talking about I need to get my life insurance first. I'm checking out the different policies. I'm getting all the different quotes. So when I get the best quote, I'll be out there, brother. And the Lord not dealing with you, brother. Tomorrow I'm looking for quotes. Ridiculous. All right, let's go to Luke chapter 19. Oh, I can't go out. My kids, they want to fly kites. I know it's a Sabbath, but they want to fly kites. Brother, you can't be ruling over 10 cities, man. You can't even rule over your own spirit. How do you expect to be managing things and people, man? Brothers can't even manage their spirit. You sitting there like Pookie from New Jack City, struggling, smoking the blunt, man. Do I smoke the blunt? Or I'm gonna be a lord over 10 cities. Brother, put the blunt down first, then you might be able to rule over 10 cities. The hell is going on, man? Brother crib be all dirty, pizza boxes all open on the floor, you know, trash all in the bed. Tell me you want to be a lord over 10 cities. Got a baby mama in Chicago, baby mama in Detroit. The Negro sleep all day and then he get up, scratch the stuff out his eyes, and then kind of fall back to sleep. Hey, that brother, he can't be a lord over 10 cities. The 144,000, these are mighty men. All right, let's go to that, man. All right, this Luke chapter 19 and verse 16. It's one of my favorite verses in the scriptures, hands down. Luke chapter 19 and 16, and it reads, Then came the first, saying, Lord, thy pound hath gained 10 pounds, meaning now that you gave me, Lord, I brought more brothers into this truth. I did your will. I went out there in a spiritual marketplace and I exchanged this truth that you gave me, which is metaphorically spiritual money, in exchange for souls. Right? So what did the Lord do to reward this man for pushing the truth? Verse 17, and he said unto him, Well, thou good servant, because thou hast been faithful in a very little, have thou authority over 10 cities. So men are going to have authority over 10 cities. Governors, they have authority, or senators of states and governors, they have authority over 10 cities, man. Right? Your governor of your state, he has authority over all of the cities in your state. He calls the shots. You're going to be that guy in the kingdom of heaven. Right? You're going to have authority, and 10 is just a great multitude, right? Right? Don't you know the Lord's going to set up different governors over each nation? Right? You may be the governor of Moab, and y'all got to report to you. Like you may have to live in the land of Moab out there for a period of time and teach them the laws and commandments. They're going to be your slaves, and you may trade some of the Moabites for some of the Hamites and all of that. Right? You may be the governor over all of the children of Japheth and over all of their cities. You may have to wake up in the morning, get in your chariot, or you may want to take a horse. You know, you hit the horse, you know, do the little whip, and you riding through, and you checking on everything, and you making sure they working, making sure they up to date, you know. And then you may leave and go back to Jerusalem, and you told them, look, I want y'all got to keep the new moon. So you come back a month later and you find out they didn't keep the new moon. You're going to be upset, man. Right? And you're going to report that back to the apostles, and they're going to say, hey, look, put them to death, man. Because the Lord said, for nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish, yea, those nations shall be utterly wasted. Let me read that again. I'm going to pull up the definition of authority. Luke chapter 19 and 17. And he said unto him, Well, thou good servant, because thou hast been faithful in a very little, have thou authority over 10 cities. So the 144,000, they're going to have authority over 10 cities, right? These are men that are going to rule the earth in righteousness. All right. For far too long, we have been looked at as always slaves, no good for nothing, niggas, workers, you know. That's all we've been looked at as, man. Let's pull up this word authority. All right. Basically, you call the shots, man. Check this out, authority. Oh man, Jake, you know, this should make you want to go harder, brother or brothers. So this is the definition of authority: the power or right to give orders. Jake, you can't even give orders in your own household. You know, the power or right to give orders, make decisions, and enforce obedience. So brothers are going to be able to enforce obedience. How are you going to enforce obedience? Let's go to Revelation, the 2nd chapter. All right. So let's read. Hey, brothers, the 144,000, they're going to be mighty men. Now you can still make it to the kingdom and not be one of the 144,000. You can just be kind of a 1/3. Now there's nothing wrong with being a 1/3. You're still going to be in the kingdom. You know, as long as you're there, that's beautiful. But it's even more beautiful for you to be part of 144,000, because these are the men that are going to have authority. Now the 1/3, they still going to have their families. They may kind of live in a little land. They may have their mansion. They might have about 4 slaves. You know, maybe 3 slaves, 5 slaves. You know, they're still going to be royal and princes and kings, but they're not going to be calling those shots. They're just going to be living good, you know, drinking their wine, you know, relaxing, getting rest, watching their kids play out in the streets, you know, and that's fine and very beautiful, you know, but you should aspire, if that's the word I'm looking for, to be one of the men that are given authority, right? The power or right to give orders, make decisions, and enforce obedience. How are you going to enforce obedience? Enforce obedience. Revelation chapter 2 and verse 26, right? Revelation chapter 2 and 26. And it reads, and he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations. So that's authority over the nations, government over the nations, right? And he shall rule them with a rod of iron. That's how you're going to enforce obedience, with a physical rod of iron. Nation, get out of line, crack them upside the back of the head, right? You hit them in the back. Then they do that to us when they was whipped. Come on, boy. Come on, boy. Pick it up, boy. Come on now. Right? We're going to do that with a rod of iron. A lot of these heathen, they're going to get jammed up because they're going to want to buck up against you. They're going to be looking you up and down. They might spit on you, like spit on the floor where you at. You know? You know how people do that? You'll be walking, they'll kind of spit at your feet, man, and look you up and down. A lot of these heathen, they're going to be acting like that, man. They're going to try to run away. You don't think we're going to have runaways in the kingdom? As part of the 144,000, you're going to have to set up men and keep an eye on how many slaves you got, man. They're going to try to run away. We're going to have slave catchers. We're going to catch them. We're going to have to bring them back and beat them with a rod of iron. These things are going to happen, man. You got these heathen trying to buck up. All right? Let me read that again. Revelation chapter 2. It's going to be beautiful in the kingdom, Most High willing, man. Right? But that's right. Beat their sides, like the sister said. Let me get that quick precept. Right? And you're not going to be ashamed of that. This Sirach chapter 42 at 5. When you read Sirach the 42nd chapter, from verses 1 through 8, it gives you a detailed list of things not to be ashamed of. One of the things that the part of 144,000 that they are not going to be ashamed of is punishing these heathen for disobeying the laws of the Most High God. Right? This is Sirach chapter 42 and verse 5. And it reads, and of merchants and different selling, of much correction of children, and to make the side of an evil servant to bleed. So the Lord said, you should never be ashamed to make the side of an evil servant to bleed. Why? Because he deserves that, right? And if his family is watching him bleed, surely they'll get in line by then. We'll take the biggest, mightiest Edomite, Hamite, and we'll kind of whip them and beat them like they did us in front of their family, man. We'll bring his son up, his firstborn son, and make him watch his father get his side bleed, man. We might make his son whip his father, man, to cause discord in their house, man. Because the curse is going to fall upon them too. You know? They're going to be eating their children, man. You know? We got to make sure they're not sneaking eating pork. You know these Hamites, man. They're going to be trying to cut themselves and drink blood. And we're going to be like, well, hey, what are you doing, man? We have to kick down the door. You know? Flip through their stuff. And I heard they have pork in here. We're going to be flipping through, running their stuff over. Where the pork at? And they're going to be speaking their African. We're going to say, shut up. Speak the Hebrew. You know how to speak it. Because they want to learn the Hebrew too. So we're going to be policing the earth, man. Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 47. This is the job of the 144,000. This is what it means to have authority over 10 cities. All right. Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 47. Right. And we bring this out often. Right. Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 47 and verse 8. All right. Let's read a little more about the 144,000. I still got to go back to Revelation chapter 14 too. All right. Ezekiel chapter 47 and 8. And it reads, then said he unto me, these waters issue out toward the east country and go down into the desert and go into the sea, which being brought forth into the sea, the waters shall be healed. You see that? Now, when it says these waters issue out toward the east country, the waters that it's talking about is the waters that's coming from the third heaven, right? That pure river of life, clear as crystal, is the knowledge and wisdom that's going to proceed from the Most High. Instruction is going to be sent down to the 12. We're going to have that knowledge. It's going to be given to us from the 12 apostles. Now, one of you may be the 12 apostles yourself, too, man, right? And it's going to, or those, that knowledge is going to be given to the East country. Who's the East country? The children of Israel. All right, let me get Revelation chapter 22 and 1. Quick precept on that. About these waters that issue out toward the East country. All right. Let's go to that in Revelation chapter 22 and 1. And it reads, and he showed me a pure river of water, of life, clear as crystal, proceeding out of the throne of the Most High and out of the Lamb. Now, what is that talking about? The undefiled, untainted, untampered with, holy water, right? Not what these priests pretend that they have, but the holy knowledge and living water that proceeds from the Most High, right? And we're going to be given that. And that's what Ezekiel chapter 47 is speaking about. The waters that issue out will be given to the East country, which are known as the elect. All right, really the 144,000, right? Ezekiel 47 and 8. Then said he unto me, these waters issue out toward the East country and go down into the desert. The desert represents the people of our nation that must be given living water that they could bring forth fruit in this desert, you know, so their thirst can be quenched, for lack of better terms. That's what the Lord calls our people that have not been sealed yet. He calls them the desert. You have trees of righteousness, planted by rivers of living water, whose leaf will never wither, and who bears fruit in their season. And you have the desert of our people, right? Let's read on. Bear with me. Ezekiel chapter 47 and 8. And go down into the desert and go into the sea, which being brought forth into the sea, the water shall be healed. Now, when the Lord said these waters are going to be brought forth into the sea, and speaking about the living water that we get, we're going to have to give it to the other nations. They're called the sea all throughout the Bible. So that shows you that although we're the only ones that have that's going to have the laws in our inward parts pursuant to Hebrews 8 and 8 through 10 on down, as well as Jeremiah chapter 31 and 31, we're going to have the same laws and commandments in our inward parts, but we're going to have to teach that to the other nations. All right, that's what it means. The waters are going to be brought forth into the sea. Let's show you that these waters are the nations. Let's go to Psalm chapter 144 and 6. Because a lot of brothers, they'll read that and think that that's actual waters. You have to go precept upon precept, line upon line. You have to. If you're not going precept upon precept, line upon line, you're not going to make it. All right. Psalm chapter 144 and verse 6. Right? Psalm chapter 144 and 6. Cast forth lightning and scatter them. Shoot out thine arrows and destroy them. Send thine hand from above. Rid me and deliver me out of great waters. So deliver me out of great waters, from the hand of strange children, whose mouth speaketh vanity, and their right hand is a right hand of falsehood. So the Lord just said that we're going to be delivered from great waters, but he called those great waters strange children. Who are the strange children? Non-Israelites. Why are they called great waters? Because they're referred to as the sea. All right, let's get another precept. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 17. All right, let's go to Isaiah chapter 17. Another precept dealing with these nations that are referred to as the waters. Isaiah chapter 17 and 13. The nations shall rush like the rushing of many waters, but the Most High shall rebuke them, and they shall flee far off, and shall be chased as the chaff of the mountains before the wind. So the Lord just said the nations are like running waters. So you can't get around that, man. All right. Like the brother said, Revelation 17 to 15, that's another beautiful precept showing that these nations are referred to as waters. All right, I'll read that. Revelation chapter 17 to 15. And he saith unto me, so I can bear with me 1 second. All right, we in the book of Revelation, chapter 17 to 15. It's like you. It reads, and he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the horse sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. So America has dominion over many nations on an economic level, a religious level, a political level, sorcery, right? Witchcraft. They influence the nations, right? Through their enchantments. And they have dominion over them, even on the military level. To the point where the Lord called these nations multitudes of peoples, tongues, and nations. He called these waters that, right? So in Ezekiel chapter 47, we're going to have to teach these laws to the other nations. We're going to have to bring forth our water to them. You know, that's why you speak about, I'm not going to read that whole chapter in Ezekiel 47, but you read about us, the 144,000, if you're part of that number, casting their nets into the sea to see if the nations are producing fish. Because they're going to be checking and seeing if they're producing the righteous works, right? Checking and regulating how often they keep the Sabbath day, if they have fringes on, are they growing their beards out? Because all these nations, they're going to have to speak the Hebrew, man. They're going to have beards on their faces, fringes on. Who's going to be regulating that? The 144,000, the government of Yahushua. So let's read more about the 144. Let's go to Revelation chapter 14. All right, let's go to Revelation chapter 14 and verse 1. And it reads, and I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on the Mount Zion, and with him 144,000, having his father's name written in their foreheads, which is Yahweh, his son named Yahushua, but your name is also referred to as your image, right? Your name is also referred to as your image, or referred to as, what you represent, your character, your reputation. So the name of the Father is symbolically known for just righteousness. That's going to be in the mind of our people. And the Son's name, which is Yahushua. And I heard a voice from heaven as the voice of many waters, and as the voice of a great thunder, which is Yahushua. And I heard the voice of harpers harping with their harps. And they sung as it were a new song before the throne, and before the four beasts and the elders, and no man could learn that song but the 144,000 which were redeemed from the earth. So nobody can learn this amount of knowledge and information except these men. There's certain men on the earth who are highly regarded in the eyes of Yahweh Yahushua in terms of the spirit that they were given and the ability to retain the spiritual knowledge. And that's what the Lord calls this song. It's not speaking about an actual song. Anybody can learn the song, right? Anybody can learn the lyrics. Anybody has the ability to play the musical instruments, learn notes, and be able to put that song out there. There are certain people that can hear a song one time and rehearse it, man. So we know damn well it's not talking about your actual song. It's speaking about this truth. The Lord calls this song this knowledge, this understanding, right? Sometimes in the Bible, music is referred to as wisdom and knowledge. How do you know that? And it's often equated with prophecy, right? Let's go to 1 Chronicles, chapter 25 and 1, right? Let's go to 1 Chronicles, chapter 25 and 1, right? 1 Chronicles, chapter 25 and 1, and it reads, moreover, David and the captains of the host separated to the service of the sons of Asaph, and of Heman, and of Jeduthun, who should prophesy, right? Who should prophesy with harps, with psalteries, and with cymbals, and the number of the workmen according to their service was. So you have men that prophesy with musical instruments. Now, prophets, a lot of times, whether you know it or not, They were skillful in actually playing literal physical music, man. You know? But now in Revelation 14, when they had harps, it's not physical music, that's spiritual music now. That's the prophecy. Because brothers that go out there and teach, they're not walking outside like a music band, man. Brother got playing the alto sax, another brother on the tenor, brother playing the double bass, and a brother on the damn keyboard, and it turned into Mo Better Blues. You don't see that out there in the kingdom of heaven, man, or amongst our people teaching. All right, what you do is you see our brothers breaking down the word, breaking down the precepts, which is a song that our people get, man. You know, it righteously entices them, and they start nodding their head to the song. I can get that. Okay, Revelation 1 and 14. Yeah, how shot that's a black man. Yeah. How you hear a song, man, you kind of start tapping your feet. And you don't know why, because your spirit bear witness with that song. Right? You start nodding your head, you're like, oh, I kind of feel it, man. You know, that's how this song is, this truth. Okay, I'm an Israelite. Okay, brother, bringing out Isaiah chapter 14, 21. All right, tapping your foot to the beat. And brothers learn that song, man. Certain, that's their favorite song, and it's on repeat constantly. Certain brothers learn the lyrics, man. You know, you can love a song so much and you have it on repeat, you begin to learn the lyrics. All right. Certain people, like the 2/3, they hear that song and they, oh, I can't get that. Turn the station. You know, give me the aux chord spirit, man. Right? Turn that radio station spirit, man. I want to hear the song of fools. I want to hear the music of this world. I want to dance and step to the beat of this drum, of this society. All right. Like the brother said, Kazak Bani Hawadah in Matthew, the 11th chapter, right? Matthew 11 and 12 on down. We have piped unto you and ye have not danced, right? So Yahushua said that whereunto shall I liken this generation? It is like children that sit in the marketplace saying, we have piped unto you and ye have not danced. We have born unto you and ye have not lamented. Because we pipe unto our people, but they're not getting down with the song. All right. So let's go to 1 Samuel chapter 5. Right? I mean 10, Slakia. 1 Samuel chapter 10 and 5. That's right. Like the Shirley Bond Abraham Ephraim, good point. You know, some song tells stories, which is true, man. And the best songs tell stories. The best songs tell stories, man. And they'll paint a picture. You know, certain songs, it's a little bit of prophecy in there, man. You know, subliminal messages. But this is all that on the right hand side. All right, 1 Samuel chapter 10 and 5. And it reads, this Samuel talking to Saul. After that, thou shalt come to the hill of the Most High, where is the garrison of the Philistines. And it shall come to pass, when thou art come thither to the city, that thou shalt meet a company of prophets coming down from the high place with a psaltery and a tabret and a pipe and a harp before them, and they shall prophesy. So you see how the prophets had tabrets, pipes, harps, and they were prophesying. That's the same thing in Revelation chapter 14. When they had harpers, and I heard the voice of harpers harping with their harps, and they sung a new song, meaning they were prophesying. They were breaking down the scriptures. They were going into this word. All right. And no man was able to be these prophets except this 144,000 prophets. All right. Let's read that again. Revelation chapter 14 and 3. And they sung as it were a new song before the throne and before the four beasts and the elders. And no man could learn that song but the 144,000 which were redeemed from the earth. Now, when it says redeemed from the earth, a lot of brothers, they say that when Yahushua comes back, he's going to take the 144,000 first and put them in the land of Israel. And then it's like it. Then there'll be 3.5 years of tribulation. Then the Lord is going to come back and take the rest of the children of Israel out. And that's pretty much the concept of a rapture. You know, when you have these Jehovah Witnesses and these Christians who speak about a rapture, they often equate deliverance after 3.5 period, right? I believe you can even look that up, man. And that's a false interpretation of Daniel, the 9th chapter. Let's see, even if I look this up, rapture 3.5 years. Right? I'm gonna just see what we can get out of this. That's a common doctrine in Christianity. All right, but brothers in the truth, they believe that too. All right. Let's see. All right, check this out. I'm gonna pull this up that you can see this on the screen. Bear with me. Now check this out. Now I just typed in rapture and 3.5 years tribulations. And this is common amongst Israel now, but it's common more so amongst these so-called Christians. It says the rapture will happen in the middle of what is often called the 7 years of tribulation. This is shown so clearly in the Bible. It will not be 7 years of wrath, but 3.5 years of tribulation, followed by 3.5 years of wrath. The truth stands forever. So a lot of people believe that you'll have 3.5 years of destruction, then 144,000 will get beamed up, then you have 3 years of wrath, then the Lord's coming to save everybody else. All right, let's see where they get this from. Even if you look at their so-called timelines, right? Bear with me. This is what they believe, man. Right? This is what they believe. They believe this rapture is going to be in the midst of these 3.5 years. They call it a pre-tribulation rapture. Right? I may do a cold cut on that, man. Right? That may be the next cold cut I do. So I don't want to get too much into it now. Right? I don't want to spoil it. Right? I'm gonna save that one. I might get some in-depth breakdown on that. Right? So back in Revelation chapter 14, only brought that out because in the latter verse of Revelation chapter 14 and 3, it says which were redeemed from the earth. Because brothers believe that again, you have 300 years of hell on the earth, tribulation, then they will have 144,000 beamed up. But you're going to find out that the same time that the 1/3 is getting beamed up, 144,000 going to get beamed up because they're part of the 1/3. All right, you're not going to have 2 second comes of the Lord. The Lord come back. Oh man, I got to go back and get every. No, it don't work like that, man. So let's read on. Revelation chapter 14 and 4 about the 144,000. Right? These are they which were not defiled with women, for they are virgins. These are they which follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. These were redeemed from among men, being the first fruits unto the Most High and to the Lamb. And in their mouth was found no guile, for they are without fault before the throne of the Most High. So the 144,000, they are virgins. So brothers read that and say, hold on, brother, I'm married. I can't believe I got married. I did this and I laid down with a woman. Can't be part of 144,000. What do? It's not speaking about a literal virgin. Right? What is a virgin? A virgin is a woman that is what? Undefiled. Right? Has not been I don't want to use that word. Has not been touched. All right, that is pure. You understand? So you, as a Israelite man, you cannot be defiled by spiritual women. The spiritual women in the Bible are doctrines, philosophies of the other nations, which the Lord does call women due to the fact of how alluring and enticing these doctrines may be to the Israelite man. And he can't lay down with these doctrines or philosophies and lose his virginity before the Lord come back. Let's go to 2 Chronicles chapter 11 and 2. All right. Let's go to 2 Chronicles chapter 11 and 2. And no, you don't have 144,000 in one camp. I've heard brothers say that we're the only ones that got 144,000 in the camp. Brother, you a damn liar, brother. Right? Oh man, the 1/3 is with us. Brother, the 1/3 scattered across the face of the earth, man. This 2 Corinthians chapter 11 and 2. And it reads, for I am jealous over you with godly jealousy, for I have espoused you to one husband, that I may present you as a chaste virgin to Hamashiach. So the Lord presents us as a chaste virgin. The nation of Israel, he wants us to be a virgin. He wants us to be undefiled. He wants us not to be influenced by the ways of America and the sins that it presents, man. Lest we stain our garment and defile ourselves, you know? So that's what it means for us to be virgins. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 5. All right, let's go to Proverbs chapter 5. And I'll read 3. All right, this is the book of Proverbs chapter 5 and 3. And it reads, Slaki, I'm in Psalms, I'm tripping. Slaki, Proverbs chapter 5 and 3. All right. And it reads, bear with me, show you that these women, showing you how philosophies are referred to as women in the Bible. Proverbs chapter 5 and 3. For the lips of a strange woman drop as a honeycomb, and her mouth is smoother than oil. And that's spiritual. It's also physical, but we in a spiritual manner, because strange women, remember, a true woman is wisdom. It's not wisdom referred to as a wife, right? Let's go to that in Sirach chapter 15 and 1. Real quick, right? In Ecclesiasticus chapter 15 and 1, it reads, he that feareth the Lord will do good, and he that hath the knowledge of the law shall obtain her. Her is speaking about wisdom, right? And as a mother shall she meet him, check this out, and receive him as a wife married of a virgin. So wisdom is going to receive you as your wife. Wisdom is your true wife, right? That's your true woman, right? And a beautiful precept from Kazakh Ban Yahweh, Proverbs 7 and 4, saying to wisdom, thou art my sister, and call understanding thy kinswoman, that they may keep thee from the strange women, from the strange which flattereth with her words. Because if these are women that you are related to, your wife, your sister, your kinswoman, a strange woman would be somebody that you should have no dealing with, somebody you're not related to, right? And what are these strange women that flatter with their words? These other religions. Because people get enticed and then lured, as if a woman were to walk past you. A woman can allure you, entice you. Speaking about a righteous woman, modest apparel. She may put certain types of oil on, fragrances on. She may do her hair a certain style. She may walk a certain way. She may speak smooth words to you. Shalom, Ak. I heard that and the brother kind of starts scratching his head and say, or doing something to that effect, man. That's how these philosophies get mad. Christianity is that one of the most enticing women on the earth, man. Islam comes up second, because our people hear the concept of, I can just serve God. I can have a delusion of me serving God and his son, and yet I can still do what I want to do, and the Lord still love me. That sounds like the religion for me, right? Or I can still worship the so-called white man, and I can worship his God, right? Now, they don't know they're saying that, but they're saying that subconsciously, right? Because they really believe that these religions are their way, and they're enticed and influenced by whatever the so-called white man and these other nations put out. But our 144,000, they're not going to be defiled by women, all right? They're going to be chaste. Let me go back to that in Revelation chapter 14. All right? Revelation chapter 14 and verse 4. These are they which were not defiled with women, for they are virgins, meaning pure, holy, kept themselves unspotted from the world. All right? These are they which follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. So if the Lord get put to death for this truth, they're going to get put to death for the truth. If the Lord said, separate from the wicked, they're going to follow the Lord and separate from the wicked. If the Lord said, rise up and follow me, they're going to follow the Lord. 144,000, they have no problem at all following the Lord wherever he goes, man. Meaning whatever these scriptures say. Because you can't follow the physical Lord right now, so the Lord gave it to you through this knowledge, right? Through this Bible, right? So you have to follow the Lord wherever he goes, man. In these scriptures, and these precepts, right? In these words. Follow the Lord, and thus said the Lord, man. Keep my commandments and live. and my law as the apple of thine eye. Right? It says, these were redeemed from among men, being the first fruits unto the Most High and to the Lamb. Because you dedicates the first fruits to the Most High anyway, pursuant to the law. Now these men that are grown up as trees and wheat that bring forth fruit, they're going to be gathered into barns and presented as holy to the Lord, just like the first fruits was that you read about in the law. You know, and their mouth was found no guile, for they are without fault before the throne of God. Right? So what does it mean they're without fault? Not their flesh. Because the Lord looks at our flesh, and our flesh is weak. Our flesh is in sin. Paul told you about that. The Lord said, and their mouth was found no guile, meaning these men are sincere. These men don't have deceit in their heart. These men are pure. There are certain men that are pure in this thing, that want to be righteous, that are sincere, and they have no alternative motives in this truth. But you have men that have guile and deceit. Certain men, they want to supplant brothers. They maybe want to be in charge. They may try to fight for power. They may want money. They may try to want women in this thing, try to be famous. And it's true, try to be that guy that's known. That's guile. If you got guile, you're not going to be part of the 144,000. Right? The Lord, now you may make it to the kingdom, but you're not going to be part of 144, because the Lord said, and their mouth was found no guile, for they're without fault. Like Nathaniel. You read about Nathaniel, Yahushua said, behold, an Israelite indeed, in whom there is no guile. All right, let me go to that in John, the first chapter. Right, this John chapter 1 and 47. Right, John chapter 1 and 47. And it reads, Yahushua saw Nathanael coming to him, and saith of him, behold, an Israelite indeed, in whom is no guile. Right, in whom is no guile, no fraudulent behavior. Right, no wickedness in his spirit, a pure, upright man. Right, Psalms chapter 32 and 1. Right, let's go to Psalms chapter 32 and verse 1. And that's what it's about. It's about being pure. Right, and this truth, it's about being sincere. It's about being humble, man. All right, Psalms chapter 32 and 1. Blessed is he whose transgression is forgiven, whose sin is covered. Right, blessed is the man unto whom the Lord imputeth not iniquity, and in whose spirit there is no guile. So the Lord said, blessed is the man in whose spirit there is no guile. Right, because you may have, a hunchback, flat nose, short, feeble, and man may look at that and say and despise you on your outward appearance. But what did the Lord say? He said the Lord looks at the heart. The Lord is looking at what your spirit is about. Do you really believe? Right? Do you really have faith that I will come and deliver you? Right? Are you intentionally going to other doctrines and philosophies for vanity? Are you being vain? Are you envious? Are you proud? Are you still a nigger? Right? And a nigger woman? Right? Are you effeminate? Are you being a man? Do you have guile in your spirit? That's who the Lord is coming to save. That's another very, very, very important attribute of the 144,000. But with that, this brother Naquam, watching for Israel, coming back at you with these precepts and another cold cut, giving, of course, our honor and glory to Yahweh by Shema Mashiach Wamalak Yahushai. I know I said prophecy update, right? So I'll do a prophecy update. I'll do a cold cut later, and I'll touch on this prophecy update, most I willing. I may touch on the rapture, the great tribulation, Daniel, the 9th chapter, some prophecies, right? Later today, most I willing, giving our honor and glory to Yahweh Bashim Al Shai. Kwame Ashala, Shalom.